And as I watched the old man look in circles, I wondered, what was he looking at? Could it be the Pokeball or the road? Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Red! Last time we left off, I told you we would make a slight detour farther down onto this side, and let me just be the first to tell you that I screwed up majorly. And last night I had planned to post this episode and do the recording, but while I was recording it, I was interrupted, and I accidentally saved. So, the thing that was down there that I was mentioning in the previous episode was a battle with Gary. Gary will have a level 9 Pidgey and a level 9 Bulbasaur. These are easily countered with your own Pidgey and Squirtle or Mankey. Both of them could have taken them on. I played through the scenario in which Mankey fought Pidgey, and he did excellent. I also want to make a quick correction. Mankey is a fighting type only. So, let's move on to Route 2. Yeah, sorry we missed that Gary battle. It wasn't really that exciting, but it was good experience. Now, you're not going to see a whole lot of new Pokemon on Route 2. However, in the next area we're about to enter, you will be seeing quite a few new Pokemon. And there's nothing really over there, so we're going to truck on this way. And welcome to the Viridian Forest. Now, the Viridian Forest is home to several new Pokemon. Oop. Hey, you have Pokemon! Come on, let's battle. The Viridian Forest is home to Bug-type Pokemon, which is predominantly what you're going to be seeing over here. Ah, yes. One of the bug Pokemon you can catch while in Viridian Forest is Weedle. Weedle is a poison bug type. Not very many outstanding stats. It evolves into Kakuna, which, if you do not get it from a Weedle, it knows no attacking moves, and all it knows is Harden. Harden is a move that increases defense and nothing else. Basically stated, Kakuna is pretty useless unless it was a Weedle beforehand. Then Kakuna evolves into a Beedrill, which can be a somewhat vicious opponent to fight against, but ultimately it doesn't have any outstanding stats overall. So, do I suggest catching a Weedle? Not particularly. And the other bug Pokemon you can find here is Caterpie. Caterpie is another bug type. It can't talk. Caterpie can evolve into a Metapod, which is basically the same as Kakuna, only except green, and it looks a little obscene if you catch my meaning. Again, even if once it evolves into its final evolution, Butterfree, which is a flying bug-type Pokemon, there's still not that many outstanding stats. The only remote appeal to owning either of those two Pokemon is the fact that they evolve fairly quickly. At level 10, I believe they've both reached their final evolution, which is good in that sense, but overall, because their stats are so awkwardly low, it's just not even worth your time, in all honesty, and I wouldn't even really bother catching either of the two unless you wanted to become a Pokemon Master, which is basically catching all the Pokemon. To be honest, I really wouldn't waste my time catching either of the two. Alright, and Bugcatcher Doug wants to battle. So basically when you go through here, you're going to be seeing a lot of Weedle and Caterpie, so just get used to it. There's really nothing else. Alright, so it's my third episode, and I know I was gone those 2 days, and that was for, well, something came up in the family and we had to take care of that. So I'm going to cut all 13 of you who are watching this a deal. I'm going to post double uploads tomorrow and the day following to catch myself up. How does that sound to all 13 of you? I think that's a pretty fair deal. I think that's a pretty fair deal, actually. And Sheldon's level 10, so now they're all on par with each other, and Sheldon learned Withdraw. Withdraw is a water-type move that is known to most Pokemon that have shells, and basically what Withdraw does is it raises defense. Now, because spoilers, Squirtle is an already defensive type Pokemon, this can be quite a boon of an ability. but at the same time, because it is offensive, and we have to remember that, it's really not as fantastic as you think, and I won't be holding on to it for long. I won't be teaching my Pokemon all attack moves, because that's just stupid. It really is. You should always have one stat changing or one decisive attack, and most of my Pokemon will have that. It's just going to be dependent on their stats and their type. Don't worry, Squirtle will have his. It's just going to take Sheldon some time. Also, I received some requests for names. We have... I won't reveal them just yet, but when we get to the point where I can transition them into their acquired names, I will get to that. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm like the worst talker. Sorry for the lame commentary. You'd think that after all that time I was gone, I would have had something better to say, but in all honesty, I do not. Alright, so basically, since we're going to be seeing the same repetitive crap over and over and over again, I'm just going to fast forward through most of the battles here. So we're just going to go up and around. I don't even know what time I'm running up on now. I think I'm at 6 minutes here, but I'm not all that sure. Alright, so let's take a look here. Yep, more Caterpie, so let's let Sheldon handle this. I'd use Bubble more, but because of the differences in between Tackle and Bubble, it's pretty much going to do the same amount of damage no matter what, so not even going to really worry about it until Sheldon gets his next stat-type move. It's just going to be a lot of Caterpies, Weedles, Metapods, you know, that sort of thing. And, I mean, there's only 13 of you, and pretty much no one has been commenting whatsoever, but still, I feel the need to ask this question. What does everyone think of the series so far? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is there something I could do better? Because I'm actually going to send my channel in for review at another Let's Player, and possibly one of my biggest inspirations to do a Let's Play in the first place, Chugga Conroy. If you know him, check out his channel. He is a pretty fun guy. Young, old, new, veteran to Let's Playing. It's a fun channel. You should definitely check it out. I encourage to look at his channel. Also, I will also be sending in some of these videos for review by Nintendo Capri Sun. Also a very fun commentator. Love his work a lot. And I would not have it any other way from him. Both of them are just fantastic, and if you can, I would definitely check out their channels if you're into Let's Playing. For those of you who are watching this, who are not watching this because I tell them to, which thank you to those people who I am telling to watch this, because you do not have to, and here you are supporting me, so I'd like to thank those of you who I'm forcing to watch these. Alright, and I feel like there's something I should explain about critical hits. Critical hits, they ignore stat changes, so even if someone has been, like, buffering their defenses, it ultimately just does not matter to a critical hit. A critical hit will chew right through an upgraded defense and do the damage that it's maintained to do, which is good. And that actually was the development of certain other moves later on in the series that always hit critically. Alright, and down here you can find a potion, very good. And one last battler up here. Catcher Sammy with a level 9 Weedle. Actually, I believe what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to let Mankey take this one. Go ahead, Mankey. And way to go, Mankey. And Sheldon is level 12 now. I think it's time to put Mankey up front. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think of it, everyone. I want to know everyone's opinion. Whoever sees this, please leave a comment. Unless you do not own an account, and you cannot physically leave a comment. In which case, you know, I'm not gonna go ask you to try and make an account for YouTube, and you're just watching this on a whim. I'm not gonna force you to do that. Alright, so anyway, now that I'm done ruining the aspect of immersion, it's time to move on and talk about this city. Pewter City, it's the first, well, not the first, but for us, it will be the first city with a challengeable gym in it. Gym leaders are typically stronger than random trainers, obviously, and oftentimes they have quite an interesting team of Pokemon at their disposal, and they're usually pretty much the tough of the tough in any given area. You need to defeat 8 gym leaders in this game to progress on to what is essentially considered the end game of the Elite Four. The Elite Four are basically the strongest ever, excluding the champion, and the champion is going to be quite a surprise for those of you who have never played a Pokemon game. So we're just going to move on to the gym here and take on Brock here. Alright, so Camper Liam would like to battle. Alright, new Pokemon. Geodude is a rock ground type Pokemon with spectacular defense. If nothing else, this Pokemon exists only for its defensive abilities. It does have quite a decent attack stat, but overall its defenses outweigh its offenses, and that's where it excels in greatly. And another new Pokemon, Sandshrew. Sandshrew is a ground-type Pokemon, and needless to say, this Pokemon wrecks house when it evolves. It evolves fairly quickly, but I won't really reveal it because I don't want to spoil it for those of you who don't know Sandshrew's final form. Like Geodude, it's a mostly defensive Pokemon with decent enough attack stat. I do not discourage the use of this Pokemon either. I love Sandshrew, and I think it's a great Pokemon, and if you can, put yourself out of the way to catch one of these, because these guys make a fantastic partner. And Smokescreen is starting to get, or not Smokescreen, what am I talking about? Sand Attack is really getting to me, so we're just going to keep Karate Chopping, and I don't think that's really going to have much effect here. We may have to swap out. Yeah, we're probably going to want to swap out real quick. Sorry, Mankey. We're just going to let Sheldon finish off the rest of this battle. I haven't gotten any names for Mankey yet, and I'm a little worried about that. But, you know, at the same time, I'm just going to let it happen as it happens, and if no one posts a name, I'll name them myself, because I do have a few in mind, and I mean, I know there aren't that many of you, and I can't be expecting a lot of comments every night, especially when the max views is like 20, and I'm being completely serious. But, I mean, obviously I can't wait forever, and I shouldn't be expected to, and I won't. Alright, I should really let you guys watch this animation, so we'll do it with Sheldon, even though he probably really doesn't need it. So basically, it pretty much just eats it, and that's that. It was a new idea, and it never really continued forth after this game. So you're here. I'm Brock. I'm Pewter City's gym leader. My rock-hard willpower is evident even in my Pokemon. My Pokemon are all rock-hard and have true grit determination. That's right, my Pokemon are all rock-type. Fwahaha! You're going to challenge me knowing that you'll lose? That's the trainer's honor that compels me to challenge you. Fine then, show me your best. Now, I don't really know if that other part was necessarily true, but I'm going to pretend like it was, and we're going to try and put down Brock as quickly as possible. Because obviously I don't want to be extending this longer than it needs to be. So we're just going to open up with a low kick here. And that surprisingly did minimal damage, so we're just going to move on to Karate Chop in that case. And critical hit. Karate Chop naturally has a little bit higher of a critical hit than most other fighting type moves. Next to Cross Chop, obviously, which we'll probably see later, so I won't really spoil that for you guys. Brock is about to use Onix. Change Pokemon? No, I think we're actually going to let Mankey handle this. Onix, new Pokemon. Onix is kind of like Geodude in that it is a rock ground type Pokemon. Again, this Pokemon excels greatly in defense and has a decent attack stat. Most rock Pokemon follow that general mold. That's just how they are, most of them. There are exceptions to the rule, but Onix in particular is a very, very defensive type Pokemon like all rock types. Very sturdy, very hard, hence they're rock types. Alright guys, and I think that's where we're going to end it, even though I'm not going to show everything. I'll show it again later. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all the support. Minor as though it may seem, I really love it and I appreciate it. So good night everyone.